Welcome to Technology Unknown. I'm Ryan. In my last video, we walked over kind of things you can do as a result of the NPD breach, but it was starting to run a little long, so I decided to talk about the future actions we can take to protect ourselves from things like this happening in the future. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that and take a look. The first one is credit monitoring. And you can certainly do credit monitoring if you want through Experian and Equifax and TransUnion. I wouldn't. They don't have a very good history in terms of data security. So I personally would not do that, but you can. So what I'm going to do is again show you ones that based on my research, based on things I've done, and based on things I've looked at, protect for that kind of information. Additionally, you want to get your data out of the data broker's hands. They're the ones who get this information out there so casually. And I say casually, maybe I shouldn't say that. But quite simply, they're the ones with your data, and you want to get it out of their hands. And finally, is a little bit extra protection when it comes to using credit cards, because that's another common point of identity theft. It's another common point where stuff gets out there. So let's jump in and look at the things I would recommend for this. So the first site I'm going to bring up here, this is Privacy Guard. And Privacy Guard is about identity protection. And it's about monitoring and maintaining that. And so I'm going to go here to the compare plans. Now these have a monthly cost to them. So this is not something you do once and get to walk away from. This is something that has kind of an ongoing maintenance of your identity. Now, these are very effective and they do a good job, and there's lots of companies that do this. But from my research, again, the one that I'm leaning towards and the one that I would recommend for people these days is Privacy Guard. It is a little bit more expensive than some of its competitors, but they do a lot more. So as you can see, they've got three different options here. The first option is their identity protection, and that's what we're focusing on. The second option at $20 a month is their credit protection. We've already done a lot to protect ourselves on credit at this point without having to spend money, so let's not worry about that too much. And the third option is the total protection, which takes care of credit and identity. The reason I actually keep this one as an option, I'm going to get into real quick here. So first off, what is Privacy Guard going to do for you? So they're doing the checking to see if your information has been leaked, if it is out there, if your social security number's out there, if your driver's license is out there, your passport's out there, banking account information, credit card information. Has somebody been going through and changing your address? So, hey, I'm expecting my mail at my home. Oh no, somehow my mail is now going somewhere else. That goes through and checks for that. So that's a lot of what they're doing. Now they do give you a bunch of stuff. Some of these things, when they say what you'll get, it's what matters is what's here. That is where I would put most of the weight of this conversation. But what you get their app. My experience with most of these apps is that they're not that impressive. They're basically just a way to manage your account. But hey, if you live on your phone, if that's your primary access to the internet, then this is also where you get your reports, and maybe that has value to you. Email and text alerts, great. If they know something's there, they are telling you ahead of time, which is fantastic. Monthly status updates, okay. The first thing that they have listed here that's in the what you'll get that I think has great value is the dedicated ID fraud resolution agent. Anybody who's ever dealt with identity theft will tell you that getting out of that, proving you are who you claim to be and the things that someone else did was not you, is a nightmare. It is an uphill battle because people have been ripped off and they want to get paid, and people have been stolen from and they want to get what's rightfully theirs, and you're the one they found. And you now have to prove to them that all of that was fraud. And so having someone who can walk through that with you, take you throughout the process, matters a lot. The secure browser, look, there's so many browsers out there, and maintaining a web browser is a big, big job. I actually question them having this kind of a tool, and I'm not going to say that that's a value add. The secure keyboard for your mobile devices, I'm not going to say that's nothing, but I'm not going to say that's a selling point. It doesn't draw me in, that's for sure. There's other solutions out there for that. The other item here that does grab my attention, though, and that makes me say that this is something, and this is something, by the way, the other companies that out there that do this as well offer, and that is this $1 million of ID theft insurance. So it does help, again, protect you if something does happen. The last few things, wallet protection, online fraud assistance, the public records report. These are all good things. You certainly want to have these. And for me, the $10 a month thing is perfect. It covers everything I need. Again, for the most part, what has taken place here in the credit protection, we've really already done. And I'm not overly thrilled about what they're offering on it. I'm not against it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But if you don't want to go through the effort of freezing your credit on those three, if you don't have a bank or credit union that is providing you regular credit reports, that you're not going to be monitoring it manually, those kinds of things, then maybe this has value to you. But the total protection, this has value in a very unique way. And that unique value is right here, the children's social security number monitoring. If you are a parent, then this is a big value for you and for your children. You can register up to 10 people under the age of 18 on this plan, where they're watching it to make sure that people aren't opening lines of credit and things like that against your children. So this is a big deal. It is $25 a month. That is a little bit steep, especially when people are just wanting to get by. As you look at your kids, maybe this is a big deal for you. So really, for myself, for people, it's just an individual, I would recommend this. For a parent and the kids, I would certainly lean towards the $25 a month. That said, they do not have family plans on this. So if it's you and a significant other, they just don't have that as an option. I don't know why. I think they should, but they don't. There are other services out there. I believe the TransUnion's version has a family plan. I believe that Equifax's has a family plan. But just looking at their history and how they've protected data over the years, I would not trust TransUnion or Equifax or Experian with that information. I would lean towards a company like Privacy Guard. Because I originally recorded these two things, my previous video and this, as one recording, I want to re-emphasize before we continue forward that I have no interest in these companies. I have no relationship with them beyond, in some cases, being a customer. They have no idea I'm making these videos. Links in the description are not affiliate links. I get nothing from this. I'm putting this out there because this is what I believe in. This is what I think needs to be there. And I think it's important that you know who's making a recommendation, why they're making that recommendation. Money is a non-factor for me in this conversation. It is simply services I do recommend. The next one that I have on my list is about getting your data out of the hands of the data brokers. And personally, I use Delete Me. They have a little confusion when it comes to their website. Their website is joindeleteme.com. There's another company, deleteme.com. I don't know who they are. They're not related, as far as I can tell. But the one I have used, joindeleteme.com. And what I like about what they do is they go ahead and they contact all the data brokers and get the lists from the data brokers, and then compare those lists with the data that you have provided them. The more data you give Delete Me, the more data that they can scrape and find, and then go out and say to those data brokers, remove this person. Now, there's other services out there that do this as well. The other method that is used is where the company that you are working with, so not Delete Me, but a similar company, will actually blast all of their customer data to the brokers and say, if you have any of this data, remove it. And that's fine and it's effective. It's not the way I prefer it to be done. So that's why I chose joindeleteme.com, was specifically because I like the way that they handle that. Okay, I know I'm blurring most of the screen here, but there's a specific reason I'm showing the things I am showing. And one of those is, this is my actual data on this. So with this data, there's 103 data brokers they've looked at over this information. Of that, they've reviewed 4,150 different records. 77 of those 103 data brokers have my data, and they have actually removed a significant amount of the data. Now, the other thing I didn't blur is this $50 Amazon credit thing. Sure, I could share that link with you guys, and maybe I'd get $50 Amazon cards over and over again. I'm not going to do that. I'm not looking to get anything out of this. I want you taken care of. So, no, I'm not going to put that link anywhere. I did scroll down here to the listings removed section here, and you can see over time they removed me from 69 different brokers, 44 different brokers, 27 different brokers. This is something that you have to do continually, because some of those brokers will re-add you. If they get your information from somewhere else, they'll add you again. This is a continual thing. So I did log out and jump back over here because I did want to show you that, again, there is a cost to this service. And I personally did the 2 year. It was what's best for me. You can do it as just an individual. You can do this as a couple. You can do this as a family. So 2 years for 4 people, 2 years 2 people, 2 years 1 person. You can do them 1 year at a time if that's what makes sense to you. But this gets your information out of the hands of the data brokers to protect you better from things exactly like what just happened. The last thing I want to mention is privacy.com. This is about virtual credit cards. So again, a common thing that gets leaked, a common concern is, what about my credit card? I went to a website, I'd never been there before, and I put the information in it. Oh my gosh, now it got leaked, or what could have happened there, or all of these things. And privacy.com lets you create what's called a virtual credit card. It is a real credit card. It does work. I believe it's at least I've always had it be a MasterCard for me. So it's pretty well accepted. You're getting the number, you're getting the expiration date, you're getting the 3-digit code. You have all of that, and it works. And for most people, this is free. Free, I should say. $0 a month, $0 costs, right? You can make 12 cards per month. You can make a card that can only be used by a single vendor. You can make a card that can only be used one time. You can make a card that can be used monthly by that specific vendor. The reason I put air quotes around free is because the way the card works is you have to use whole dollar amounts when you put a card in. So if you have something that you want to buy that is, say, $15.99, you're going to have to make it $16. If you want to sign up for a free trial of something, but say, hey, look, I might forget to cancel the free trial, you'd have to put at least $1 on the card. So it's free, kind of. Mostly it's free. And so I do utilize these for things anytime there's a large dollar transaction, anytime that I have a site that maybe I'm not as comfortable with, anytime I have a service that maybe I am using a trial. And I am one of those people who magically forget that they signed up for a trial and end up spending a bunch of money that they didn't want to spend. So these are very good for that, and it's a very, very simple process. I'm not going to log into my own account and walk through it, but create card, and you create a card. It's not complicated. In the end, these leaks are going to happen. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last. Do these things, protect yourself. Don't make decisions out of fear. Don't make decisions suddenly. Don't take me as your only source of information, but do ask from any source you're looking for, what are they getting out of it? Again, I've said this multiple times. There's nothing for me. These are things I use. These are things I've recommended. These are things that I know work. Are they perfect? There is no perfect. But all we can do is the best we can do, take care of what we know, and share information with those we care about. Thank you. Hopefully, the next videos I get to put out are going to be a lot more fun and are about why I love technology and not the things that cause us stress and frustration. This is a new channel. I've got now, with this, 2 videos available, so I probably haven't earned it yet. But if you like what I'm doing, if you think maybe there's going to be something valuable for you here in the future, hit that subscribe button because I've got a lot of cool stuff planned. Thanks, and I hope you have an awesome day.